How's it, folks? The Nocturnal Tribal Machete bounties, as well as Tolga and Fatin, are now available in DL2. Firstly, with the Machete, the 4 bounties that it asks you to do are relatively straightforward. One of them asking you to get 10 kills using a pistol. If you don't want to waste your own ammo, then I would recommend trying out this combat challenge on the GRE hospital rooftop, which basically has you just go through the hospital shooting zombies. Should easily get the challenge knocked out of the way. And then the other 2, complete 3 survivor missions and complete a GRE anomaly or aberration. Just do 3 GRE aberrations. They'll count towards the 3 survivor missions as well as counting towards completing the GRE aberration by itself. So kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then the 4th one requires you to get 10 kills with the Scorpio, which kind of requires you to do the previous week's bounty challenges. And as we finally have a blueprint for a nocturnal weapon, you can re-roll the stats to what you would prefer. I generally prefer the losing immunity when taking damage rather than dealing damage, and as a nocturnal weapon you can re-roll stats until it targets specific monsters you want to take out. So you can have weapons targeting very specific night monsters like volatiles, virals, demolishers, goons, even the GRE anomalies. I even had one of the weapons that I crafted doing a similar amount of damage as my exotic scope cutter, which previously was the weapon that I can do the most amount of damage with over 1,800. So it is worth giving it a bash to see if you like using nocturnal weapons. Just remember you need to keep an eye on your immunity time as well as your health and stamina bars. And then moving on to the Tolga and Fatin arrival. In order to start this, you need to head on over to the PK ship and go to that board, and there should be a new quest asking you to find somebody who's missing. Short cutscene will play with someone trying to give you a bit more context, and then follow the clues basically, and weird stuff starts happening. If you don't want to be spoiled, I would recommend skipping the rest of this video because I kind of have to go into a bit more detail and that's going to get a little bit spoilery. So you have been warned. It basically has you go into parallel dimensions and you have to get Fatin and Tolga's help to close them off. After meeting Fatin and Tolga, they give you a piece of fancy goggles which show off these blue pillars stretching off into the sky, which are where the anomalies are. I'll have the map locations of them playing out now, but there should be 6 of them, with each of them having their own dimension, I suppose you can call it, that you have to pass some sort of challenge or small trial to get through. One of them involves you being in the sort of void and having to kill off a zombie that's stuck in there with you, and then you get to exit it. Another one has you miniaturized, trying to work your way through Tolga and Fatin's workshop. A third one has you in some sort of stasis type mode where you move very slowly and you can't jump or parkour or try and speed things up a bit, so you're just walking at a snail's pace trying to get to the objective. Another one lets you try out that volatile, crazy, infected mode that Aiden sometimes gets during certain story beat missions. There's also one that has a sort of verticality flipped, so you kind of climbing everything upside down. And then there is another one which is a sort of parkour puzzle which involves you jumping on floating objects to get to the next rift opening. And then you gradually get new gear pieces from Tolga and Fatin and have to complete certain objectives within those other realities. Some of them you have to take the stabilizing glove, pick up those orbs and throw it into the rift, which is one of those things that people found out about a week or so ago when they found the orbs in the metro tunnel. Then there's another one where you have to put on a pair of boots and then you start hearing a beeping noise next to something you need to pick up. If you pick up the wrong one, you get ejected from the realities. So maybe put on a pair of headphones to try and work out where the exact sound is coming from. And then you got to pick up a bunch of those objects from each of those alternate realities, take them back to Tolga and Fatin, and then crazy stuff starts happening. Heavy spoilers now, but you meet another Aiden who's basically trying to collapse your reality with all the infected and whatnot in it because it's spread into other realities. And you have to make a choice on whether or not you're going to agree and side with him and collapse your original reality, or disagree with him. I ended up agreeing with him just to see what happens, and I'll let that play out so you can take a look for yourselves.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but you're right. Now, maybe I'll go to hell for this. But it's gotta be worth it if it keeps the virus from spreading. You've been in hell your entire life, Aiden. But this way, you stop that hell from spreading.
They really went quite out there with this reintroduction of Tolga and Fatin. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Take care and cheers for now.